Located on England's Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, Stonehenge is an enormous man-made circle of standing stones. Built by our ancestors over many hundreds of years, it is one of the world's most famous prehistoric monuments, and one of its biggest mysteries too. Work will have started on this amazing stone circle around 5,000 years ago in the late Neolithic age, but it will have taken over 1,000 years to build in 4 laborious stages. Archaeologists examining the site believe that the final changes were likely made around 1500 BC during the early Bronze Age. When visiting Stonehenge today, you will behold many of the enormous stones still standing strong in a circular pattern. Further archaeological research shows that the structure of this incredible monument has changed over time as it was built and rebuilt by generations of ancient people. Around 4,000 years ago, Stonehenge would have involved an outer circle of 30 standing stones called sarsens, which surrounded 5 massive stone arches in a horseshoe shape. There were also 2 circles made of smaller blue stones, one inside the outer circle and one inside the horseshoe, as well as 4 station stones positioned outside the central monument. The entire site would have been surrounded by a circular ditch and bank, which remains in evidence to this day. A question that has baffled people for centuries, and even to this day, no theory has been successfully proven. How on earth could people thousands of years ago have transported and arranged such colossal stones? A wonderful legend from the 12th century claimed giants placed the monument on a mountain in Ireland before a wizard named Merlin magically moved the stone circle to England. The lighter blue stones weigh around 3,600 kilograms each, which is roughly the weight of an average Asian elephant, whilst the much bigger sarsen stones each weigh a whopping 22 tons, being the equivalent of 2 single-deck buses. Archaeologists believe that the sarsen stones were hauled to the site on huge wooden sledges from about 32 kilometres away, but the blue stones have been traced to rock outcrops 225 kilometres away in Wales. These may have been dragged on sledges to a waterway and then floated on rafts to the building site, but we will never know for sure. Shaping the stones would have taken hundreds of hours of hard toil with stone hammers and chisels, but there then remains the question as to how the enormous boulders were lifted into their upright position. One train of thought is that builders first dug deep ditches for the base of the boulders. They would then use ropes and strong wooden poles and frames to lift them up, before then refilling the ditches with rocks and rubble to hold them in place. Naturally, no one really knows for sure, but the stones themselves do provide us a few clues, which have given rise to many different theories that continue to be debated. Every year, on the 21st of June being the longest day of the year, the sun always rises over what is termed the heel stone at Stonehenge, being a single large sarsen stone, which stands outside the main monument. The sun later always sets over the heel stone on the shortest day of the year too. Because of this fact, researchers strongly believe that Stonehenge may have been a calendar closely connected to the study of the stars. Some other theories suggest that the site could have been a place of healing where sick people flocked in hope of being cured by the monument's miraculous powers, whilst other thoughts are that the site may have been a kind of Stone Age computer that credited solar or lunar eclipses, or a temple to the sun or moon gods. But one thing is for definite: Stonehenge was used as a cemetery. Experts estimate that there are about 200 people buried on the grounds. It is also thought that important funeral ceremonies would have been performed at the site, though why the dead were laid to rest there remains a mystery.